Namaste, viewers. Welcome to Jaipur Dialogue USA. This is Vibhuti Jha, as always. And today I want to talk to you about a very different issue. Although all over the world, many sensational things are happening, but I'm going to focus on the Hindu identity. I'm going to talk about the use of certain words in Western media that completely destroys our identity about who we are. Let me give you a background to this. About 6 or 7 years ago, I was a keynote speaker at a Hindu conference in San Diego. And there I talked about the fact that the Western media has adopted certain words from our Hindu pantheon, so to say, but they are using it in a very clever, devious manner to undermine the importance of those words. The words are Guru, Mantra, and Pandit. If you have paid attention to many of the Western broadcasts, they will always talk about the Guru of this, Mantra of that, and the Panditry of this. Most often than not, they are about denigrating something in a negative undertone. If you haven't noticed it, please pay attention to that because that's what is important, because that's what I understood. That's what I was getting it. That every time they would talk about the gurus, the pandit of this was wrong. The mantra of something negative, a communist kind of a thing, a very liberal narrative, the mantra of wokeism, that's how they will talk about things denigrating these three words. In our culture and in our life, these three words have a very significant meaning. A guru is not a coach or a teacher alone. He is a life maker of the pupil or the students who study under him. That's why in our pantheon we have a system called Gurukul system of education, which is what is being established today as we talk about that many Gurukul institutions are being established. Why? But then when the Western media talks about the guru of this or that, has a very serious undertone to that. Remember, our children hear these words in America, in Western countries, they begin to feel that this guru is something untoward. We can avoid going to a guru, but let's go to a coach and a mentor, but not to a guru. You see the impact that I'm talking about? How the underhand manner in which our words, though adopted, are being given a totally different tune to that. Now let's talk about mantra. Mantra in our lifestyle, they have a very divine meaning. It has a musical content. It has an intent of creating a connect with the divine, right? It is musical tones. Mantra are written in musical tones. So when you talk about mantra and when you talk about in the manner that the Western media uses it, you realize that the mantra receives again a very negative undertone, which is what is important. Third thing, I will talk about the Pandit. Who is a Pandit? Forget Nehru. Nehru was not a Pandit. Who is a Pandit? Pandit is the one who does the mantra chanting from inception, birth to death, and in between many solemnization of Hindu practices. A particular mantra is chanted in the musical way as desired to invoke or bring about the impact of those mantrocharans, right? This is what is important for us to know. What does the Western media do? They underplay, they denigrate, they with a slay of hand, they begin to talk about mantra as something which is, a false prediction, a false entity. This is what is important. So I was thinking about it just a few days ago. Just a few days ago, or there is a famous newscaster, host in cable channel called Fox. His name is Jesse Waters. Very powerful show he does. I know him since Bill O'Reilly days when he used to appear as a cameo in a role of, doing the street interviews. And he used to call, I am Jesse Waters and this is my world. He still carries on that. Now he has become the same prime time that Bill O'Reilly had. So he's doing very well. Congratulations to him. I was watching his show and he talked about a drug guru. A drug guru, when he is introduced to the Fox channel, a media, think about it. Suddenly, a drug peddler, a drug seller, a drug manufacturer is being addressed as guru. Do you see? Would we ever call a nefarious man in our lifestyle, in our country, a guru? Certainly not. But when the Western people hear that, when people like you and I hear that, we begin to look down upon the word guru, for it was never intended to be that. You can suddenly begin to say, a porn guru, a porn pastor, a porn mullah. I can challenge one thing for sure, that if these drug gurus or porn gurus are called as porn mullah or drug mullah, there will be riots on the street. The Western telecasters will never talk about a pastor or a priest in the same manner, the drug pastor or a drug priest. See the point which I'm trying to make with you. This is what is important, and I want to say to all of you today that recently you must have seen that how Ganesh Bhagwan was made an undergarment, bathroom pad, bathroom foot mat, and in many other ways, Ganesh Bhagwan's murti or the print of that was put on many clothes in Walmart, made by supposedly Abercrombie and Fitch. But this is not the first time. Ganesh Bhagwan was insulted in the manner that it was, it was something like a artwork, freedom of speech and freedom of expression. No, it is not. No, it is not. And I want to emphatically tell you that. Please do not fall for that Western trope. We have to contest that. So I actually wrote a tweet to Jesse Waters to understand the meaning of the word guru. It's not a drug guru. It's not a porn guru. It's not porn pastor. It's not porn mullah. It's not a drug mullah. It's not a drug pastor. Why not? So why don't you use, and that's what I want to say, why don't you use the words which are more powerful for you guys? So I thought about it like this. I'm going to send this video to all the network channels, and I appeal to you to do the likewise, because unless and until you create a noise and protest against a wrongdoing, the wrongdoing continues. I'm very happy that following the protest on Ganesh Bhagwan's print on ladies' undergarment, on the bathroom mat, on many other ways, was subsequently withdrawn by Walmart. But we don't know who did it. That's what is important. Somebody, to a fashion designer, Abercrombie and Fitch, made that, and sold the idea to Abercrombie and Fitch, who were using it via Walmart to masses and public. Do you realize what is the importance of that? So, ladies and gentlemen, I am saying to same Jesse Waters and many BBC broadcasters and everybody else who uses the word guru, mantra, and pandit, replace it. Why don't you call the guru as the mullah or the priest? Would you dare to do that? Instead of using a mantra, why don't you call the gospel truth, gospel mantra, gospel and hadith of Sharia or wherever it has come from? And instead of using Pandit, use Maulana and Pastor. Would you do that? Should we start doing that? There will be riots, there will be protests immediately. But we are calm people. We Hindus are generally very calm, very unengaged, very less protesting. And if we do that, then we are branded as phobic or bigots. This is the point which I'm trying to drive at you today. That unless and until we reclaim reclaim the our own words, our cultural identity gets impacted. This is significant for us because of the reason that all over the world Hindus are under attack. Think about it, that in Bangladesh those people are hammering a cow to death with a stick on her head. But that's freedom of speech, and that's not an insult. But they will not eat pork. They will not never do that to a pig. You know why? You know the reason why. So think about it from that perspective. ISKCON was being talked about to be declared as terrorist organization. Think about Congress party itself, which following 26/11 in India wanted to talk about saffron terror. These are very insidious manner, very vile way, very disturbing intent, with a disturbing intent to destroy our cultural identity. The institutions of Guru, Mantra, and Pandit is being systematically ruined by the Western media. And it's time for us to arise, awaken, assert, and act. If you don't, who will? Think about it. With these words, I will say Satyameva Jayate, as I always do. But remember, Satya will not triumph if you do not stand up for it. It's time to do so. Thank you.